Okay, Rudolph. Oh, hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Santa's Village. And it's cold out here and it's snowing, so hey, let's go inside by the fire, have some hot cocoa, and let Santa share some brand new Christmas stories with you. Hello, children. It's story time again. And this time, I'm going to tell you the story of how I met Yodule Elf. Yes, it all happened long ago. After taking Snowy for a daily walk, we had always walked along the same path every morning. And sometimes I would see these huge footprints in the snow. I often wondered if it could be the footprints of a Yeti. But then I would tell myself that, well, it couldn't be possible because we're in the North Pole, where everything is magical and nice, and we don't have such monsters here. Well, the more I thought about these footprints, the more I wanted to find out who they belonged to. So one day, with Snowy by my side, I decided to follow them. Well, we followed them for many miles, when all of a sudden, the weather began to change. The once blue sky suddenly turned dark and stormy, and it began to snow very hard indeed. Soon I realized that we were lost. Snowy, I said, a little tremor there in my voice. I think I have to call Rudolph and ask him to come and rescue us. So I reached into my pocket and got out my mobile phone. But I dialed the number, and to my dismay, I could not get a signal. The storm was starting to brew, and all communication was temporarily lost. Oh dear, what was I to do? It had become so cold, and the snow blizzard made it impossible to see anything around me. I'm so sorry, Snowy, I said with a shiver. We are lost, and the only thing to do is to wait until the snow blows over. So Snow and I laid down in the snow. We huddled together for warmth. Would the storm pass? Would we survive the night, I thought? Although I was afraid and shivering from cold, I soon fell asleep with Snowy by my side. Then I woke up, and to my surprise, I found that we were no longer outside in the snow, but under a big fluffy blanket beside a huge roaring fire. Beside the fire stood 2 cups of steaming hot chocolate. Thankfully, somebody very kind had found us and saved our lives. But who could it be? And how did they get us here? Well, just then, a big, cheerful-looking monster appeared before us and said, "Good morning, Santa. I'm Yodule." So it was he who had saved our lives. And he then told us that he lived by himself and he did not have anybody to talk to and no family of his own. I felt so sorry for him. It must be lonely, I thought. Then, suddenly, Snowy ran over and started to lick him with affection. "He's made of ice cream," Snowy barked with his tail wailing excitedly. Imagine my surprise. Before I could ask him why he lived alone, Yodule told me that he was a little boy and he had been forgotten by Santa every year, and he never had any presents from Santa. Well, I was ashamed, and I felt bad because I didn't ever know there was a Yodule or where he was at. I told Yodule that this year I would not forget him, and that I would come back Christmas Eve, and I would bring him a very special present. Just then, I looked up in the sky. The storm had passed, and I could see Rudolph. He had come looking for us. Yodule began scared and ran away. But before I could thank him, Rudolph landed. And both Snowy and I climbed into the sleigh and went back to home, to safety at the North Pole in Santa's Village. All the way home, I kept thinking of Yodule. When we landed, I went straight over to the head elf and whispered in his ear that I want to do something for Yodule, what I wanted to do. Well, Christmas Eve arrived, and after delivering And after delivering the presents, I flew over the ice cap, and I could see Yodel sitting there, all alone. As I landed, I said, "Merry Christmas, Yodel." He was all sad. He said, "Santa, why, you don't have any presents for me?" I said, "Yodel, it's okay. Get in the sleigh. I got a present for you." So he got in the sleigh, and we went back to Santa's village. When we landed, all the elves were there, and they were all excited, and head elf said, "Santa, it's ready. Come on over." So Yodel and I went around the corner, and there it was. It was a big ice castle for Yodel to live in. It was wonderful. He was so excited, and all the elves were so excited. They had a new friend, and well, Yodel made a new ice cream. We call it Elf Special, and we eat it all the time. And now Yodel is a very special member of Santa's family. That's how we met Yodel, and he's now in Santa's village. Merry Christmas, boys and girls.